Hello and welcome to Studio A in BBC Blackstaff House. We are live with your guide to starting a career in an industry that can really make a difference. Welcome to Making It in Youth Work. It is BBC Children in Need Appeals Day, so we thought then goes to people and their lives, and then of course how you can start a career in youth work yourself. I am joined by work on the ground, and they can give us a real insight. If you want to ask them a question or post a comment, then just do it below this now. Don't hesitate, any comment, any question, and we'll put it to the guys before the end. Hello Gavin, how are you doing?
All good, honey, how are you?
Not bad. And also by Gordon Wolseley. First of all, we'll talk to yourself, Gavin. People might be thinking, well, what exactly is youth work? So what does your job, for example, entail?
My job at the minute is I'm a full-time inclusion officer at the Play Trail, which is situated in Derry, Londonderry. So what I do every day is I work with young people with learning disabilities from the age of 14 right up to 25. So I work across two programmes. One programme that is currently funded by BBC Children in Need. So it's about providing personal development programmes or enhancing the limited educational programmes out there for young people with disabilities.
So on a day-to-day basis, when you go into work, what does that actually mean for someone that comes to see you?
Yeah, well, on a day-to-day basis, my job varies, and that's the beauty about youth work. Every day there's a different variety and there's a different range of things that you can do. But 2 days a week I'd have 17 young people with learning disabilities from the age of 18 to 24. And I work with them and providing them life skill programs. So we would do things around travel training, cook it, providing them personal development programs that we can, in order to provide them the necessary life skills to go out and access in their community. But additional to that as well, I run a youth provision that runs 2 to 3 nights a week, again engaging young people who are probably one of our most isolated and excluded members in society.
It sounds like a tough job. Is it difficult?
It can be difficult at times, and I think in this role there is a lot of different factors that play.
Sure.
The real joy and the real buzz that I get out of it is getting to work with the young people, and that for me is what makes it all worthwhile. Yes, there does become the demands of funders, and there does become the reports and the constant seeking for funding in order to keep your programme established and keep it running and providing a good service for young people. But It's a job that I love going to every day, and it's something that I don't think I would ever change anytime soon.
Bethany, you're from Scott Street Youth and Community Centre. Give us an idea in terms of why you got into it in the first place, a bit about your backgrounds.
So at the age of 15 I was a member. The youth club was set up because of me and my group of friends. Gordon approached us with the local youth worker, rural youth worker, and he asked us what do we want to do, and it was just somewhere to go and somewhere to do things. And the youth club was set up on a pilot programme, and off the back of that, because there was a general need for youth activities in the area, we set up a youth club, and we got a porta cabin and we attended it on a Monday night, and from then it's just grew and grew.
And now you're what?
So now at the age of 18 I became leader in charge.
So you're the boss?
Well, technically, yeah, technically I'm the boss of a committee, an excellent supportive committee that are above me. But
some people might say, well look, what is the need for stuff or things for people to do, young people to do when they're at that age? So why is it important that there are services like all the ones you work for, they are available and people can access them?
So intervention's a big thing for youth organisations to do, to provide. Keeping young people out of trouble, keeping them from being bored, giving them opportunities to develop skills which is going to support them in the future. Helping them, supporting them to develop CVs for university, for part-time jobs. Just generally an area to go to meet new people that they wouldn't meet maybe in school, or they wouldn't meet outside of school.
It can make a difference in terms of their future, their outcome, the path that they decide to go down, because these services are there when they need them.
I think youth work helps young people, to understand themselves, to express themselves, to understand the society their community is from, but it also, through informal education programmes and providing the personal development programmes that they do, it gives them an opportunity to learn in an enjoyable way and to, deal with challenges and stuff like that. So
It's gone full circle then for you, Bethany, because Gordon Woolsey, you're from the Oasis Youth in Portadown, so you worked together when you were at the centre, and now you work together when she has progressed and has moved in to become one of the leaders.
Yeah, absolutely. So as well as being full-time youth inclusion officer with Oasis Youth, I'm also a chairperson of Scott Street Youth and Community Centre. So
You're busy then?
oh, well, just a wee bit.
So there must be something about this job that makes you think, like, I love it. It might be difficult, as we heard. It's got, like every job, its ups and its downs.
Yeah.
But it makes you want to do it on a daily basis.
I have to be honest. It's more than a job to me. It's not just.
What does that mean?
It's a passion. It's the what I get out of seeing the difference that's made to the children and young people's lives by you going to work and by providing these projects and programs for young people, children and young people, and you see that the difference, no matter how small it is, that you're making into a disadvantaged child or young person's life.
Do you have to be a specific type of person to be a youth worker? Because some jobs are not suited to all people.
Well, yeah, I suppose.
So you're grinning there, so clearly there's something you think, well, do you know what, I do this or we do that, we have that type of personality, and that's why it works for us.
Well, you have to be outgoing, of course. You have to be outgoing. Like, we are, as many of our young people know, we're up for the banter as much as they are.
Right.
We are up for the crack too. So
I'm too old to use words like banter and crack, but I get what you're saying.
You build a rapport with young people. You're gaining their trust. You're building that relationship with them, and then they're able to confide in you. They're able to talk to you about their problems. Then that's whenever you can make a difference. That's when you can do more things with them.
But it also comes back to what we mentioned earlier, Bethany. You can actually really make a huge difference in someone's life, because if those services aren't there at a certain point when they need them, you know, we've mentioned briefly antisocial behaviour and the impact that can have. It's like when you're a certain age, there can be a fork in the road. And if there is that particular exit which maybe leads you to take in better choices, making better choices in the future, you can make such a difference.
Yeah, that's true. Like, we have a lot of young people with all different needs that attend our youth club. Have been involved in certain things as well, and once you come through the door, it's a positive atmosphere, and it's for them to embrace all the opportunities that we provide. We can provide opportunities; it's up to them to grab it and take part. Of course, we encourage them, and other young people within the youth centre as well, you know, give from experience of taking part in different projects, encourage young people as well, bring along friends. So it's up to them to embrace the opportunities that we provide, and it's up to us to provide a variety of opportunities as well.
Gordon, you mentioned there, obviously, in terms of the type of person that can do this kind of job, outgoing, that kind of personality. What about once you get into the job? Because a lot of us will want to progress and maybe move.
Yeah.
Is it possible to do that within youth work?
Yeah, so basically I started off as a volunteer. I volunteered in the youth organisation, and it was through volunteering that I was then given the responsibility of leading that voluntary youth club. That led to me realising I actually want to do this as a career. I want to pursue this as a career in youth work. So then I was able to take part in courses. So then it was OCN level 2 and 3 in youth work. There's equivalent to that now, run by the local education authority. But through that you're able to gain valuable experience, and you're able to go even further, and so much so that myself and Bethany, we're now doing our degree in youth work. We have decided to go the long route, and we are now in year 6 of 6 through the Open University.
Year 6 of 6.
Yeah.
So it's not full time in terms of your study.
No. Well, that allowed us then to still continue in our jobs.
Yeah,
so
you can work and do the education on the side.
But
so you finish this year?
This year, if we pass, of course.
Right. I'm sure there's no doubts there, is there?
Well,
you're going a bit red, which is making me wonder, have you not been studying hard enough?
People watching this will know only too well what we are like, but there is other routes you can go. You know, there's many, a youth worker I know has went down going full-time 3 years, part-time 4 years. Gavin, you went part-time?
I finished and all, yeah.
So you've just done what these guys are doing now?
Yeah.
We mentioned background as well. Give us a bit about your background in terms of what led to you wanting to get into youth work.
For me, I grew up through the youth service. I've always been a member of the youth club from such a young age, and I grew up in an area which would be considered in Northern Ireland to become from an area of high deprivation. So youth clubs were really key in them areas and something to engage in. Going through secondary school, I was a victim of bullying, and I had a group of friends that went through the same things that I had to deal with in secondary school, and it was only from great role models within the youth service that they noticed that our behaviour had started to change, and that maybe we became a little more shyer, or we didn't have as much confidence as what we previously had. So them seeing the need and identifying the issues that we were going through, we took part in a programme around bullying and around how to deal with bullying and the support available and things like that. And from that, we felt that gave us a good confidence boost and something to do that for me and the 3 other boys that we did it with, it really stuck with us, and we wanted to give something else back. And I think that's maybe why I've always got into youth work. So what we decided to do is we decided to put our heads together at the age of 15 and design a board game. So we decided
as you do at 15, yes.
I know. I always remember getting into the youth club and saying, I want to do this, or we wanted to do this, and we were never told no.
So this changes your attitude when you're there at that point.
Yeah.
And you clearly realised as well how lucky and how fortunate you were to be getting that help, that advice.
And I'm forever grateful for that. And maybe that's why I'm in the role that I do today, that I may want to give back. But going back to the board game, and we chopped and changed, but we were very lucky to secure money from Children in Need in order to get that printed professionally. We sold it across the UK and Ireland. We won multiple awards.
What was it called?
It's called Beat the Bully.
Right.
And it was devised by 4 victims who went through bully, but it also came with a 6-week training pack that could be used for youth workers, for teachers to do it, and all the money raised from that then went into us as 4 young people and 2 of our friends who were girls, because we were a male-dominated group, to be trained to become peer mentors. And what we did is we invested the money into bullying camps where we ran residentials.
Right. And sorry, what age are you at this point?
16, 17, going on 16, 17.
And you've already done all of that?
Yeah, but it never felt like a chore, or it never felt like something that was hard to do. It came naturally. Yes, it was very hard when it came to running the peer bullying camps, and we were taking away young victims of bullying within the local area and taking away in residentials and stuff. But it was amazing to see the development and the capacity built for each of them young people from that Friday to that Sunday morning.
Bethany, let's have a chat with you for a moment or two. Was it difficult to go from volunteer to leader?
Well, I volunteered as a leader in charge as well, right up until I got funding from Children in Need 3 years ago. I worked full time in a butcher's, which I'd worked in from I was 14, and it was to balance the both. It was difficult, but I loved doing it, and I was studying it as well, and I needed the experience basically to continue to do it. A lot of my friends came on board and became volunteers as well through that, and are on the committee today as well for the youth organisation. So it's been an experience. I'm still learning every day, and it's definitely a job that I want to do and want to continue to do for.
We've a question here on Facebook. If you want to put a question or comment, please do post it in below. Ralph McKay says, I'm a volunteer and I do 25 hours a week at the boxing club. I have to juggle my full-time job and family. How do youth workers cope with their day-to-day work? Look at that grin there. Clearly this is something, because you're 28?
28, yeah.
But you have 3 kids and you're
3
married
kids.
and you're studying as well. So there's a lot going on there.
Is, yeah.
How do you manage that?
I suppose having to prioritise is a big thing, and dealing with the most important things at that time, and taking day to day, but planning is a big thing. Planning's a big thing in youth work as well, so you have to plan ahead for these things, but that's, a lot of hours voluntary on top of your work can be difficult, and you can go home tired, and you're going home till a wife and 3 children as well.
True, but I don't want you to make it sound or put people off.
Yeah.
Because obviously everyone has a life and outside of work.
Yeah.
So you all do this. You all do the extra hours. So what is it that makes you want to do that, even if some of those hours are voluntary?
Because you see the benefit that the children. Support her to get furniture supported her to get electric, to get baby food, to get, through local charities we were able to get home heating oil, which incidentally was stolen, and we were able to help replace that.
Her oil was stolen
Yes.
after you got it for her?
This is the local charity that provided it was within the last couple of weeks,
Yeah.
but we were able to get more oil for her. But this same girl, we were able to support with her interview skills, with building up her CV. We even provided clothing for her to go to her interview. I'm delighted to say last week she got a phone call to say that she got the job. Now, that is a moment, Vinny, that whenever you realise, it was a proud moment, and it was a moment that you realise as an organisation you're really making a difference, and that is what gives me the drive and passion to do what I do on a daily basis.
And how do you feel when something like that does happen and you meet this person when they are possibly at their lowest and you help them through that journey?
They tell you how much they appreciate it. That, you know, this same individual was at the lowest of the low, was telling us about the thoughts that she was having, and for us to see the difference that you have made, and for to be completely at the opposite end now, and to be thriving, it really just gives us a buzz. It makes us want to do more. It makes us want to continue to do this work on a day in, day out.
And it's not something you would get in a lot of your kind of standard jobs. Not that they are not important as well,
absolutely.
but it's special.
But what I love about youth work is that every day is different for us. Yes, we have programs and projects that run on certain days, certain evenings, but every day is different. You're meeting new people daily, and you can learn from them. We're continually learning as youth workers.
Gavin, a question from Facebook from Dominic. What do you wish you'd known before you got into youth work? I can maybe ask you all this if you have a short enough answer for us.
What I wish I'd known before I got into youth work? The doubt and the continued doubt of maybe employment. I think going back to what Ralph
You mean
said,
contracts and
contracts and stuff.
and stability?
Times like that, when we don't have an executive and we don't have things going on, it can affect on the programs we're doing. And we're so lucky that the youth service has, I think, the most people volunteering within it. And going back to what Ralph was saying, like someone has given up 25 hours of their time.
It's incredible.
And that is amazing. And I speaking to it earlier, you know, that's something that we've all done. And, you know, I volunteered at my youth club when I was 14, right up, I'm now 29. There is times where I've been out of contract and still working and stuff, and it's going back to that drive. There's a reason why you do it.
Have you both had the same concerns? Because it goes back to that issue of it's maybe not the easiest job. There's lots of difficult and easy jobs out there, but the reason to do it, the want to do it is still there.
Yeah, I suppose exactly what Gavin said. See, with the funding issues and all there is as well, you're striving to secure funding for the organisation that do continue to run projects and programmes. So that is a concern. But another point that Gavin just made there is about volunteering. Our organisations, and I can speak on behalf of both Scott Street and Oasis, we would not be here where we are today without volunteers.
Yeah.
We have a small staff team in Oasis, but all of the staff all started off as volunteers within the organisation.
It's like a big family.
It is exactly. Scott Street strapline is one big family, and that's exactly what it is. We just so rely and appreciate the hours and the time that volunteers give in, week out.
Bethany, I want to actually ask you a different question from Facebook. This is from Kenny. He says, do you feel that a degree is really necessary to be a great youth worker, or is it just a tick box exercise to getting a job? Do you need a degree to be a youth worker?
Well, I've been doing youth work from I was 18, and I haven't even qualified for my degree yet.
Can I ask what age you are now? It's a very cheeky question.
So I know great youth workers that don't have degrees in youth work and are fantastic at what they do. I think a lot. However, having a degree in the voluntary sector is a bit more flexible, and if you want to work for the likes of the board and stuff, if you want to have the job that I do in the board, you need to have a degree. But again, in the voluntary sector where I work, it's not necessary to have a degree, but it's necessary to have the experience, and it's a big thing.
I think what's great about this profession is that you can command it at various roles or various levels. So some people might never ever want to go and get a degree, and you don't have to, because there is hour training that you can do or continue to do personal development to work at different roles. It depends on where you want to go to and how far you want to take it. And some people, centre-based youth worker programs and stuff, they're happy doing. Other people might want to move on to a management role and stuff. So it's not necessarily the way.
Okay, Gordon, you kind of already answered this question, so I'm going to go back to Bethany for this one from Facebook, okay? Andrew says, what has been the one difference you've made in anyone's life? He set the bar very high there, so just anything that comes to mind.
Well, experience for the last 7 months, I've been working with a group of 10 young people. I can't single out anybody because they've all come through the programme fantastically.
You're afraid you'll get in trouble if you single somebody out and say
part of a programme called French River, and it's a coexistence programme, peace building programme. It was set up for young people going through the troubles in Belfast over 30 years ago by a Rotarian from America. So it's a year-long programme. Young people learn so many skills: communication, team building, coexisting, coming together, different people from different communities. So this group of young people have been meeting from March this year. They've fundraised, they've team built, they've worked with the community. They've just done 2 weeks in America, working with people with disabilities, working with the elderly, working in soup kitchens, learning to live together, doing house work skills, and public speaking, Rotary clubs and stuff. So that was a big thing, leaving home, no technology, 2 weeks without a phone. They didn't know how they could do it. But it's amazing to see the growth from they started in March right through till it's now November, and they're fantastic leaders within their community, and the next 5 months are going to be delivering social action programmes to what they think is a need in their community. So giving back to those who have supported them throughout the last 7 months, basically.
Yeah. There's so many different levels there, and you've got the personal development, and then I guess you also have where if you're volunteering within youth work, that could help you get another job maybe outside youth work. You know, when people are asking for experience and what have you done, what's on your CV, something like that is bound to help.
It's massive. It's even as much as standing up and addressing a crowd and sharing their story is massive for a young person that would never want to do it. Even the likes of a high ropes course, somebody who's mad afraid of heights, getting up.
A high ropes course?
Yeah.
So I don't like heights. So maybe I could come along. What does that entail?
So a specific young person I'm going to talk about, I'll not say their name, but they were able to, so afraid of heights, we had actually done a test programme in March as part of the selection, and they got up and they done it as a team. They were fantastic, but in America it was so overwhelming that they actually got up, climbed up the pole and walked across 30 feet in the air.
30 feet?
Yeah, walked across a pole 30 feet in the air and came down in tears just because they'd done it. And
I feel
the fear as well.
The thought of it, never mind doing it in the first place.
So just that goal that they thought they would never do is massive for them, and the support from the other young people that cheered them on and encouraged them to do it, to have no regrets when they come home to say, oh, I wish I'd have done that whenever I was there, was fantastic. Like.
Do put any other questions or comments you have for the guys in the box below, and we'll try to get them before the end. This one comes from Una Hendren. This is actually for, as clearly that rings a bell, that's not the high-rise person, no?
No, but it's one of the...
Oh, right, okay. Did she go up the 30 feet?
She did, yeah.
Did she? What's the best thing, Una asks, about being a youth leader? She also says hi to Bethany and Gordon. You're great youth leaders. Sorry, Gavin. So what do you reckon? What is the best thing about being a youth leader? Tough to pick.
It is. Getting to run fun programmes and do things along with the young people. So like tonight, Vinny, we are doing an all-night stay awake in Oasis. Of course, raising money for BBC Children in Need.
So you're staying awake all night? All night,
so 8 o'clock tonight to 8 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Sounds horrendous.
We have games, we have food, more games, and movies. Oh, well, you have to be under 18, Vinny, unfortunately.
You what?
Under 18.
Well, look, I'm slightly over 18, not a lot, just don't look at the grey in my face. I have to say though as well, every time you talk about any aspect of your job, even when you're saying sometimes it's difficult, you're all smiling.
Yeah. It's we just love what we do, Vinny, and to see the one thing I will say is, you were talking there about the volunteering and the young people. Our organisation now relies on junior volunteers, so see, even at a younger age.
What age are you talking about?
We have volunteers in our organisation as young as 12, so from 12 right through to 18. So you don't have to be 18 to volunteer. We have volunteers who give up their time straight after school, come and help at after school clubs. Now the skills that they learn they're able to put that into their CVs. They're able to take that learning. They're able to go and apply for jobs. We have been referees for many of a young person who's been able to go and get a job. It is also great for university applications, and all those skills are transferable into all other jobs, Vinny. So it's endless, the amount of opportunities and possibilities for them.
I think you might have kind of answered some of my next question for Gavin, and that's if someone is watching this right now and thinks, do you know what, I want to do this, whether it is volunteering or as a paid role, what's the first step they should take, depending on their age, obviously?
Yeah, well, personally, I think their best bet is to get a flavour for what type of youth work, or if they want to get into youth work. So whether it is going to the local community centre or going to a local project that works, and asking can they volunteer and testing it out, because youth work has a broad scope of different roles you can do. I work in inclusion with young people with disabilities. I know Gordon works in inclusion, but
with young children, young people from a BME background.
People could be centre-based youth workers, they could work in schools, they can work with young carers. There's a broad range.
So should you decide what fits with your life at that point?
I think if they can, they should get a flavour to test out. That's the beauty of this role. You know, I've had numerous youth work posts, and every one of them has changed. I've had multiple experience in a variety of youth work elements, so I think continue to do it. Kind of what Gordon was saying as well is we in the Play Trail we run a buddying program, so we recruit young people from 15 to 18 to come in to get training, and they act to a buddy to a young person with a disability, and that could be to take them to an event or take them to a gig or to come along and support them in social programs. But what I'm saying is, if you continue to do that and you are passionate about this, now we have now got 10 staff members. 3 of them came through the buddying program. They are now paid staff. Some of them are on 25 to 30 hour contracts a week. So going back to the people who are continuing to volunteer, continue to do it. Hopefully keep doing it. Like we've all talked about this. We've started out in 5-hour posts, or we started out volunteering to go to 10-hour posts. We went from full-time to part-time. It's one of them. But it's one of them roles that constantly changes, and at one of them times that your job could continue to change. But this is a sector that you know that is proudly sponsored by children in need, and they really invest in that. But not just that, young people, their needs change all the time. There's constant issues, there's constant programs that need to be done. So I think it's definitely a great career for someone if they're interested in doing.
Just because we're almost out of time, you've mentioned you're staying awake all night tonight.
Yes, all night tonight.
You doing it as well, Bethany?
No, I'm going to the appeal night, but
are you?
we'll have young
You
people.
going down to see who's it? That's down at
Ulster.
The folk. Yes, I'm glad you finished that sentence, because I struggled. Fun. What about you?
The Bug Club and the Play team have actually done 2 events. They did a Halloween haunted trail, where young kids took part in a Halloween themed event, and then we did on Wednesday night we had a special guest. We had Pudsey down with us and some film crew from BBC.
He's a character, that Pudsey one.
Yeah. Push presses and different exercises. So we did boot camp.
Push presses
and stuff with the wits and stuff like that. So what happens is, part of our provision as well is we provide Bud Fitness, which is a inclusive boot camp and exercise program for young people with disabilities, because exercise and staying fit is really important. So we incorporate that into our fundraising about a Zumba and stuff, and we have pods going, and the young people raised I think about £550 for BBC Children Need on Wednesday night. So it was really, really good.
Well, look, unfortunately we're out of time. Gavin, Bethany and Gordon, thank you very much. Good luck staying awake all night.
Thank you.
Yes,
I'll need it.
And do have fun whatever you're doing for children in need. Of course, it is Appeals Day today. bbc.co.uk/Pudsey if you would like to find out more, and if you would like some more resources and help in terms of making it in the world of work, you can go to the Make It website on bbc.co.uk/make it. Until next time, thank you very much for watching. Bye bye. Happy enough?